Come on down to the barbecuer. Oh, shit.
Another one.
Oh, you see this guy? See this guy?
I owe the bank a lot of money.
Are you trying to get me hard? Was this a setup?
Just threw up like a motherfucker.
Number one bullshit guy.
The best guy around.
Real bad.
I need another puff of the Zaza nail, baby.
Nothing I said, motherfucker.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to another episode of Panda Rants. I am your host, Panda. We have a very special episode today. We have a Sunday NFL recap, moving into Movie Monday with JoeBob. It is a great interview. Stay tuned for that. And then following Movie Monday with JoeBob, we have Keyboard Warriors with one of my great friends, Troy Lowe. We discuss single-player games. We have some really great conversation. And then, of course, we have another Panda Rant. It's going to be a great episode today. Let's get into Sunday NFL recap. Sunday NFL recap. We are starting off at 9:30 a.m. Eastern in Frankfurt, Germany. The first time the NFL has played a game in Frankfurt, so that's a really cool thing to be a part of that experience. We have the Dolphins versus the Chiefs. The Chiefs pull this one out 21-14. Tua 21 of 34 for 193 and a touchdown. Patty Pat 20 of 30, 185, 2 touchdowns. And if you watched this game, you probably saw Chase Claypool being the dumbest player in the NFL. He gets one snap, doesn't know where to line up. His teammates tell him where to line up, and then boom, false start. Absolute dummy move. Chase Claypool, you're a bum. You're a crumb bum. You're a dumbass. And I'm glad you're not in Pittsburgh anymore. Anyways, Vikings-Falcons. Vikings pull this one out 31-28. Josh Dobbs absolutely killing it in place of Kirk Cousins. 20 of 30, 158, 2 touchdowns. Obviously, we'd like some more yardage on there. But my boy Tay-Tay, Taylor Heineke, 21 of 38, 268, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Kind of a close game. It was fun to watch. Go Vikings. Next, we have Bears-Saints. The Saints pull this one out 24-17. Tyson Bagent, 18 of 30, 220 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That's what happens when your dad is a fucking arm wrestling champion. 3 interceptions, my guy? Jesus crisps. Derek Carr, 25 of 34, 211 and 2 TDs. I'm just going to say this. As a rusher, Alvin Kamara is done for. He can catch the ball. He can run yards after catch, but as a rusher, Alvin Kamara is done for. Crumb bum, 9 carries, 26 yards. Do better. Rams-Packers. Packers demolished the Rams 20-3. Brett Ripien, 13 of 28. 130 yards, 1 interception. Sounds like me at recess. Jordan Love, 20 of 26, 228, and 1 touchdown. Rams, you got to get Cooper Kupp the ball more. I know your quarterback is 13 of 28, but Cooper Kupp having 2 receptions, dude, get them numbies up. It's Cooper Kupp. It is Cooper Kupp. Moving on, Commanders-Patriots, 20-17. The Commanders win this one. Sam Howell, 29 of 45 for 325. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Mac Jones shits the bed, 24 of 44, 220, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. All I have to say about this game is I still don't like Mac Jones. Next up, Seahawks-Ravens. The Ravens just demolished the Seahawks, 37-3. Geno Smith, almost identical to Brett Ripien, 13 of 28, 157, 1 interception, garbage. Lamar Jackson, 21 of 26 for 187 yards. Obviously, I think everybody would have liked to see more yards and maybe a touchdown out of Lamar, but when you're playing that well and you win by 34 points, nobody's going to talk shit. Whoever the fuck Keaton Mitchell is, 9 carries, 138 yards and a touchdown, go off, King. Go the fuck off. Next up, we had Bucks-Texans, an absolute barn burner, 39-37. The Texans pull it out. Now, these stats, clear out your ears because you're not going to fucking believe it. We had Baker Mayfield, 21 of 30, 265, 2 touchdowns. Great game. Great game from Baker Mayfield. And C.J. Stroud, 30 of 42, 470 yards and 5 touchdowns. Holy shit. Whatever the opposite of a shit show fuckfest is, that's what this game was. CJ Stroud throws 5 touchdowns to 4 different receivers. Noah Brown, 6 for 153 and a touchdown. Dalton Schultz, 10 for 130 and a touchdown. Tank Dell, 6 for 114 and 2 touchdowns. And then carrying up the back is Nico Collins, 3 for 54 and a touchdown. 3 different receivers with over 100 receiving yards. Are you fucking kidding me, CJ Stroud? Dog. Absolute dog. I don't even have to wait till the end. CJ Stroud, absolute dog of the week. Give that man his trophy. And we move on to a less exciting game, Cardinals-Browns. The Browns just fucking murdered the Cardinals, 27-0. Clayton Tune, looks like they picked him up off the street. He might have been playing for Cuyahoga Falls High School. Clayton Tune, 11 of 20, 58 yards and 2 interceptions. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? I know I've said this before, and I was hollering when I said it before, that I could suit up and beat those stats, but I could suit up and beat those stats, dude. 58 yards, 2 interceptions, my guy. Jesus. Deshaun Watson, 19 of 30, 219, 2 touchdowns, not bad. Amari Cooper had himself a day, 5 receptions, 139 and a touchdown. The Browns didn't even break a sweat during this game. Deshaun's looking good. I hate to admit it, but Deshaun did look pretty good. Moving on, Colts-Panthers. Colts pull that one out, 27-13. Minshew Mania, 17 of 26. 127 yards and a touchdown. Bryce Young, get your numbies up, my boy. 24 of 39. That's not bad. 173 yards. Okay. 1 touchdown. Cool. But 3 interceptions, dog? You might as well play for the other team at that point. The Colts scored 20 points in the second quarter. They had this game locked down before halftime. Go Colts, I suppose. The New York Football Giants versus the Raiders. The Raiders just brought it to them. 30-26 Raiders. Tommy DeVito, with no relation to Mr. Danny DeVito, 15 of 20, 175, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. The completion percentage isn't bad for 175 yards, but 2 interceptions, can't do anything there. Aiden O'Connell off the bench, 16 of 25 for 209 yards. They got kind of carried by Josh Jacobs, 26 carries, 98 yards, 2 touchdowns. Shoo-wee. Cowboys-Eagles. This is a great end to the afternoon games, dude. 28-23, the Eagles win. Dak Prescott, 29 of 44 for 374 yards and 3 touchdowns. Absolute game by Dak Prescott. It's a shame that they couldn't pull this one out. Jalen Hurts to watch, 17 of 23, 207 yards, 2 touchdowns. I feel bad for the Cowboys. I fucking hate the Cowboys. Let me say that first. Hate the Cowboys, will never bet on them. But I think I might hate the Eagles more, and I think it's just because of Philly fans. Notable performance from CeeDee Lamb, 11 receptions for 191 yards. Are you fucking kidding me, my guy? Absolute baller. And to wrap up our Sunday football slate, we had the Bills versus the Bengals. The Bengals pull it out 24-18. This was a great game to watch. If you stayed up to watch this game, congratulations to you because you got to see a good one. Josh and the Bills, 26 of 38, 258 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Not bad stats at all. Stephon Diggs is a monster. He runs hard as fuck. Josh Allen also ran 8 times for 44 yards and a touchdown because that's just the type of guy he is. But wait, there's more. Joey B, 31 of 44, 348 yards and 2 touchdowns. The kid can play fucking football. We've known it since he was in LSU. He's an Ohio guy. We love him. We love him. We love him. If the Steelers can't go anywhere, I pray that the Bengals do. What a great Sunday for football. We had a lot of great games, a lot of close games, which I am always a fan of. And for anyone who was paying attention, I only lost 4 of these matchups. I'm just saying. My record right now, 8-4. I'm looking to get the Jets to win this game tonight against the Chargers. That'll put me at 9-4 on my official Panda Rants pick'ems. But that's enough yapping from me about NFL football. Let's get into something I am extremely excited about. Movie Monday with JoeBob. We watched Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. Let's check it out.
Some goddamn movies.
Oh God.
You getting baked over here, you little slut?
Nah. No.
JoeBob,
Panda.
what's going on, Slatadoo?
Oh, not much. Just sat down, got my drink. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, sounds real good.
Okay, cool. I just got my AirPods in.
What are you sipping on, JoeBob?
The Jack Daniels and Coca-Cola mix in a can.
Oh, the premixer.
Yeah, it's actually not bad. I had it Halloween.
Hell yeah, what's the percentage on those?
It is 7%.
Okay, that's not too bad.
I got fucked up from them, so the only complaint I have is a little expensive.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Both, they're both big brands.
What are you drinking? Are you drinking?
Yeah, I got some fucking Buffalo Trace and Coke Zero, so I guess we're kind of on the same wavelength.
Same. Yep.
Actually, I'm a little low, so I think I gotta pour a little bit more before we start.
Oh.
Welcome back to Movie Monday. I am here with my best friend and resident film aficionado, JoeBob. Joe, how are we doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you, my friend?
Oh, dude, I'm about to be drunk as fuck. So today we are talking Guy Ritchie's The Covenant.
That's right, Guy Ritchie's.
Well, I'll give a little synopsis, a little recap. Oh, I almost forgot, JoeBob.
What?
We will be sharing spoilers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You almost forgot that.
If you're listening to this and you haven't seen Guy Ritchie's The Covenant and you don't want to know what happens, skip to the next timestamp down in the description because we are going to spoil the fuck out of this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Guy Ritchie's The Covenant stars Jake Gyllenhaal and Dar Salim. Jake Gyllenhaal plays U.S. Army Green Beret Master Sergeant John Kinley, and Dar Salim plays his Afghan interpreter Ahmed. And long story short, they are tasked with finding IED factories in Afghanistan. It opens in a scene where we see John Kinley's squad, and it gives you a good intro to like the type of environment they're in, because in the very first couple minutes, we see Jack die. He gets blown up by an IED in a truck, fades to black, The Covenant. That's the intro to the movie. And the rest of the movie is John Kinley and his squad going to look for more of these IED factories. They get ambushed. John Kinley and Ahmed end up walking through the wilderness of Afghanistan. And that's only half the movie.
Right.
The other half of the movie
surprised me too.
Is John Kinley is home and he can't get Ahmed off of his mind because they couldn't take Ahmed. So John Kinley goes back to Afghanistan to basically rescue Ahmed and his family.
Right, because Ahmed saved John Kinley from being killed from the Taliban as they're being hunted.
That was a very, very rough synopsis. I'm sure there's more details, but we'll get into those for sure. We will definitely be getting into this movie. My first question for you, Joe, is what are your thoughts overall? What did you think about this movie?
Overall, I liked it, honestly. Like I said, I just watched it today earlier. And this movie was on my watch list, and I've been intrigued in this movie actually for this year because I believe it came out this year in April.
Yes.
I believe you can fact check me on that. But so it's actually I've been talking about like even with like a couple of my friends and stuff. I'm like, we should go see this movie because I was like, I saw a trailer for it and I was like, this looks badass. And I was like, and I heard when it was Guy Ritchie, the director, I was like, that's interesting. A war movie by Guy Ritchie, which if anybody, who know the director Guy Ritchie, he's a very well-known director in the film industry. And he's done a lot of great pictures. He's done a lot of stuff that I really like. So I was like, I kind of like try to watch a lot of his filmography that he puts out. And I think and that's why it kind of surprised me because normally he doesn't do like this type of stuff, right? He normally kind of does more crime, witty kind of humor-ish, kind of reminds me like Tarantino style filming, just like witty humor or like dialogue and like, there's some crazy characters involved and everything. So like when I heard about this, I'm like, okay, let's check this out, but overall, I really liked it. If you're into war movies in general or like action movies, like I would definitely recommend this. It's not the typical war movie. I don't think I've seen a war movie like this in a while, honestly. Or if I have seen something like this, I thought it was kind of interesting. It kept me engaged the whole time. And the main takeaway I'll say from this, I loved Ahmed.
I couldn't agree more, dude. Ahmed was by far my favorite character, and I think maybe it was kind of set up for us to feel that way. But
For sure, yeah. No, that was like one of my favorite things. I really liked his character. He's a badass and he's intelligent, and you don't know much of his past. The only thing you learn is that he was in the heroin business, they said.
Yeah, his family.
And he was like working with and he was working with the Taliban, and then the Taliban killed his son, and then he's like, fuck the Taliban. Now I'm gonna work with the US government and try to kill you and find you fuckers, you know?
I should have mentioned this when we started. The whole point of this segment is that I am a very casual movie watcher. I don't know much about actors or what they've done or directors or producers. I am a very casual movie watcher. That's kind of the whole point of this segment, is to be able to get 2 points of view from someone that has, in fact, Joe, you told me earlier today, you have over 900 movies ranked on your Letterboxd.
You know, gave a star rating on them, but yes. A lot.
And back to Guy Ritchie. What are some popular Guy Ritchie movies that I might know?
First one I'm thinking, I don't know, I guess what kind of more recent, I'm trying to think more recent ones for you. Did you hear about Sherlock Holmes ever? With Robert Downey Jr. that came out at all?
I mean, I remember hearing about it. Yeah.
He was in that. He did actually Disney's Aladdin that came out a couple years ago, which I thought it was odd too, because like you said, I'm looking at his filmography right now. He did Wrath of Man, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. I really like that movie of his. That's one of my favorites. I recommend if you want to watch more Guy Ritchie films. Snatch is another good one. Brad Pitt stars in it.
That one sounds familiar, Snatch.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Big Snatch guy, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Like his when he first started out, a lot of his films are or like I say, kind of like more lower budget, kind of indie style kind of filming, you know. Mm. And there are it's a lot of British too. It's like all British cast. Oh, wow. I'm pretty sure he's British himself. Common reuser. He's Jason Statham a lot. His movies. But yeah, that's pretty much about Guy Ritchie. I recommend Man from U.N.C.L.E., Sherlock Holmes, and Snatch if you want to start out Guy Ritchie films.
He was married to Madonna for 8 years. Did you know that, Joe? Technical difficulty.
Hello?
There he is.
All right. Sorry, I don't know what happened.
No, you're good. You're good. I started to write some stuff down about the movie. So what I didn't tell you, and you're about to find out, is that I actually just watched this movie again.
Today?
I finished it about 40 minutes ago.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And honestly, like when I watched it the first time, we had talked previously, you know, when we were planning this, and I told you that I planned on watching it twice. And after I watched it the first time, I was thinking to myself, like, I definitely don't need to watch this again.
You're right.
Truthfully, I don't think that I did need to watch it again, but, you know, we were going to sit here and have conversation about it. I wanted it to be a little more fresh in my brain.
For sure.
And honestly, I got about halfway through and then just kept hitting the skip 10 seconds button. Before I start giving my opinion on things, I want to know your opinion on Jake Gyllenhaal being chosen for the role of John Kinley.
I have no problem with Jake Gyllenhaal. I like him as an actor. I think I actually like him as a person too. I think he's pretty cool, like outside of work, because from seeing what done in interviews and how he is as a person. But I have no problem with it. I don't see him in very too often military roles, so it's kind of new for me. I'm sure I think the other film I saw in military role was Jarhead that came out. Did you see that movie?
I watched it a couple times.
Right, because I remember us talking about it like a while back when it was, you know, on, because you and me always loved war movies.
That's in my top 5 for military movies.
Yeah, it is for a lot of people. A lot of people will like it. It was a very realistic-ish type of what warfare was like there. But I have no problem with Jake Gyllenhaal. I think, I don't know, like lately, some of his roles I've seen him in, there's always parts of it where he acts crazy or goes like he like flies off the handle and kind of acts crazy for a little bit. Especially in that scene when he comes home and he's like, you know, calling the visa people and they keep putting him on hold and he gets like drunk and has like, you know, flip out and stuff. Like, I think he was good in that role, you know.
I don't disagree with that. I thought he did a great job, especially in that scene you were just talking about when he's in the office, like the office of their repair shop. Their
mechanics.
Like Kinley's classic auto that him and his wife own together.
Yeah,
and we kind of get a brief glimpse into like the fact that it exists early on when he's talking to his wife and his kids on the phone, and he's asking her, you know, how's the business, you know, how are the books, and we get a good feeling then. that his wife is at home and is like she has a good handle on everything.
Yeah, the wife is badass. She's a cool ass wife.
The one thing I will say that bothered me, there were a lot of things that bothered me actually, but between him and his wife, when he leaves the second time, he doesn't hug his wife goodbye.
Yes. You know what? I noticed that too. He hugs his children and gets right in the truck. But they kiss though. He's like, yeah. I honestly, I think that was. I had no problem. He's like, come here, kiss me. But to me, I thought it no problem. It swerved, just went right in the truck.
And we learned pretty early on that his character is very risk heavy because he's having the conversation with what's his name, Vokes, who is the colonel, and John Kinley goes to him and says, "Hey, like, I got my guys out here. It feels like we're moving sand around a sandbox." And Vokes says,
right,
this isn't the first time you had your needle pointing that way. That kind of sets it up for us to know that like John Kinley has a history of feeling like they're there doing nothing, that a lot of what they're doing is not pointless, but the results are making it feel pointless.
Yeah, their intel's bad, you know. They just keep going crap missions, and like Ahmed is every single time they go out, Ahmed, it's like there's nothing here, or like this person's lying, and it was like frustrating. You know, I like how they do in the beginning, like the battle, like John is like kind of like still kind of keeping an eye on this guy because I'm sure he still has like a lot of hatred towards the Taliban, after what happened in the very beginning. But I like how they kind of like go back and forth. Like Ahmed's like proving John wrong every single time. It was satisfying to see because John was being a dick, but I don't blame him for being paranoid. But a spoiler, like later when they're like in that scene where they're going out again after they paid that one guy for information, and that one interpreter like try to leads them down that wrong road, and he called it out like, don't go down here, like this is gonna be an ambush, like, and it was the other guy that they trusted betrayed him, and Ahmed caught him, which was another badass thing. Ahmed just outsmarting everything. Yeah, I was waiting, I was like, shit, is he gonna kill him? Which was the cool standoff because John's like start pulling his way. It was like a crazy, intense moment. There's a lot of intense moments.
Absolutely. And you mentioned early on that like it kept your attention the whole time. And it did. The entire movie was like on the edge of your seat. What is going to happen next? The suspense was insane throughout the entire movie, and I loved that. It kept me very engaged with what was going on.
There was not that many slow points. There was pretty much the movie, I say, except when he goes home, that's probably the most downtime of the movie where there's not much going on. And honestly, I kind of wish they didn't show so much of that when he was home. I thought that was like just too long. I understand they were just trying to show like, yes, like how it shows how long the process is of visas, which is clearly a point they're trying to make in the movie. There's a lot of messaging and around this whole movie, as you know, but I didn't care for that. I wish they kind of showed more of Ahmed, honestly, and what his situation was. I wanted him. I loved when he was like, I'm sorry, I'm kind of going on a rant now.
Dude, go for it.
He's living with his wife and their newborn son. And the Taliban shows up, and that one friend calls him. He's like telling him how to get out of the house, kills that one guy that comes to the back door. Like, that's what I wanted to see more, is Ahmed trying to survive out there than Jake Gyllenhaal. I mean, John Kinley calling the visa people for like 20, 25 minutes, Yeah. But I think they should go on like a little back and forth. I think they needed to like add one more scene, in my opinion, of Ahmed and his family like trying to, because that's what I was most interested in.
Yeah, I mean, up until then, like Ahmed kind of was the main character.
Right. I mean, that was crazy what he did. Just him trying, like you said, John Kinley got injured in an ambush, and then Ahmed had to, which he could have left his ass. John Kinley got his ass shot up twice, and then got like a bad concussion. He got knocked in the head. Just the journey that they had to go through, which, oh my God, I was not I thought the rest of the movie was them trying to get back.
Not expecting it to be so heavy on Ahmed to like solve all these problems.
Insane.
I don't know if we mentioned it yet or not, but the actor that played Ahmed, his name is Dar Salim. He deserves some type of award for his performance in this movie. And again, I don't know shit, but I thought he was awesome in this movie. Like, yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal is super famous.
He draws the people in. He draws the crowd in.
But Ahmed and Dar Salim is what made this movie good.
I like
the reason I asked you about Jake Gyllenhaal is because I thought he was almost perfect for this role. And this isn't his fault. I know he didn't write the movie. He didn't write the script. There's multiple points in the movie where John Kinley goes into like this dramatic speech, and I think that has its place, but I think each of those scenes where he is giving this dramatic speech were like 30 seconds too long. There were two that come to mind. One is when he is laying awake in bed and his wife is like, John,
Right.
and he gives this fucking 2-minute long monologue about how it's not fair that Ahmed is over there and he's here and all this. Again, like, I think that was a necessary part of the movie. I just think it was too long.
I think I didn't like how it was like kind of trippy when he was like having like these hallucinations. Like it's really like he was like tripping during his dreams, you know, which I thought was kind of weird. But like I said, I thought they spent too much time showing Jake Gyllenhaal's character.
I agree. The one thing I will say that I did like about that, or think that was cool, was that it seemed like when he gets home, it's the scene where he's sitting there manning the grill. He's with Declan and his wife, and Declan's like, so you don't remember anything? Like you crawled on your hands and feet across broken glass for 100 clicks.
Yeah.
And at that point, John Kinley's like, yeah, dude, if that happened, I don't remember any of it. But in those trippy dreams that he's having, it looks like he's starting to remember and like see back into what actually happened. And I think that does play into like that's what was pushing him to go back, is like, now he's remembering everything that happened and he's like, oh fuck, dude. Yeah, like Ahmed's the G.
I mean, he did the right thing for going back. I'm sure it was like the guilt and just like how messed up the situation was. He saved his life. You know, who knows what could have happened if the Taliban... I honestly, when he was getting captured, I was like, okay, they're getting under fire and they're like about to take him to the truck, about to take him away. And I was like, okay, where the fuck is Ahmed?
That scene where the camera is like through the car window of the Taliban and he just pulls up the gun and shoots him in the head.
Dude, he was just like no reaction just because he like said he fucking hates the Taliban. Like he's like, they killed his son. Like he has no...
Yeah, and on top of that, like John Kinley is his only way out of this.
I mean, he could have left his ass, honestly.
But without John Kinley, he's stuck in Afghanistan.
But like he was still stuck in Afghanistan even after saving him.
And that is one of the things in this movie that I didn't like.
Okay.
That I thought, and there were a couple key moments like that just kind of seemed like they were there to make the story go on further. Like when, you see Ahmed, he pulls out the binoculars or whatever he had. He sees the base and he's like, fuck, we're home. Then he gets into that fight with the fucking Taliban. And then the Americans pull up. Why did Ahmed not tell them that he was Ahmed, his interpreter? It seemed to me like right then and there, he could have been home free. Did like he was in the Taliban. He's like, I have one of yours in the cart. Like, bro, you're one of them. Yeah, you are a U.S. Army interpreter. You are part of them. Those are your guys too. And that pissed me off because I was like, that should have been where the movie ended. They know John Kinley's missing. They also know that his interpreter was missing with him.
Right. True.
And Ahmed, I feel like they could have identified Ahmed right then and there, and that would have been the end of the movie.
My take on it is, yes, you are right. Like if I was in that situation, but I think the only excuses that I could find is that maybe he didn't say anything in the beginning because he is exhausted, as you can see, and he fights off these last like 3 or 4 Taliban guys, and he kills the last guy hand to hand. Like he is so exhausted. So I think that's part of it. He's like, you know what, whatever, like arrest me, take me back to base. We'll figure it out. So I think they do figure. I think they just still. I think the whole point of the movie is that the U.S. government and how they treated interpreters, and how they were not treated fair, and that they were just not going to get help that they said they were going to. Like that's the whole point, is just showing that interpreters were essential, but we pretty much they were treated like shit on both sides. Yeah. They were looked at as traitors. So Taliban hated them, and like literally, I feel like they hunted them. Some of them, if they knew them, as you see, that he got so many threats in the beginning of the movie, as they were questioning the other people. So my guess, I think, like, yes, like the movie should have ended there. Like I said, my expectation going in, I thought the whole movie was going to be like cat and mouse trying to survive. I thought John Kinley maybe would get somewhat better at some point,
Yeah.
And like kind of fight them off. Like the beginning when they were both like, I love the beginning when they first run away together into the the wild, and they're like tactfully, killing Taliban little left and right, as they keep going. And one scene, which I don't know if you remember, is like when they finally, like they were, like I said, they've been going around stealthily killing, the Taliban. And then at one point he looks up to his left or right and he just sees two Taliban like up there on the radio talking. And then he just stands there and looks at them until they eventually looks at and then each other and then he kills them. I always thought that was interesting that he just kind of just stood there and just watched. Like, I know he's trying to be quiet, but I don't know. I kind of laughed. Just kind of laughed in that moment. I was just like, what the fuck is he doing?
So John Kinley, they give him a new name, Ron K.
Yes, when he talks to Parker.
Yeah, and they're like a private security contractor, which is an interesting concept, which another story for another day. But
did you recognize who that was?
No.
It's by Parker's by stars Anthony Starr. He was Homelander in The Boys.
Okay. The face looks familiar, but I would have never connected him with anything.
And I will say up front, I was disappointed he wasn't in the movie more.
I agree. That pissed me off because he gets there. And then Parker tells him, like, hey, we got this, like, $10 million contract from the government that we have to take care of, so you're going to have to hold tight for 3 days. And John King was like, we have a contract,
go now.
blah, 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 blah.
Some shit.
Yeah, and fucking they tell John, Ron K, now, that they've been in contact with Ali, who is Ahmed's brother, who is a heroin kingpin, apparently.
A drug dealer.
Yeah. And Ali tells Parker and everybody else at this private security place, like, yeah, I talked to him. Like, I know where he is. They don't believe him, which, I mean, I guess I give them, I'll give him a little leeway on that. Like, he is a heroin dealer, probably not the most trustworthy guy. Why didn't John just wait 3 days, dude?
I get what you're saying. He did say, like, dude, just like that. And Parker Warner's like, dude, just wait 3 days. Like, we will go in gung-ho together. And I wanted that to happen in the beginning, and it didn't happen. He had to go in solo, which is fine for the point of the movie because, as he goes by himself, he finally finds them and reunites with them, which I always liked, the little banter back and forth between them. Him saying, there's a lot of dogs around here.
That was the funniest possible way he could have done it too.
Yeah, introduce himself again, like, hey, because he said it that I think like their first like mission they went on together that night
when they went to go interrogate that guy.
Yeah. I wanted Parker to be in it. I wanted to see more, and they didn't see his team in action. They were bragging about their team, and then we didn't see pretty much anything.
And that's
do shit.
I agree. I was hoping to see like this big,
more of a big gunfight,
tactical
like big
advance
battle
by this private security contractor, like.
I was a little disappointed with how it kind of ended. I'll say that, just the way it could. I think it could have been so much better.
Yeah, and like you said, it was cool. When they were on the bridge and they're like,
it was not. Yeah, it wasn't like what they just thought. Yeah, no, I just hate how they're outnumbered the whole movie. Like they've been outnumbered the whole fucking movie. And I want to like this time, like why don't you just go in and like I said, and as you said, like. You mentioned this before. He gave that other an alias
Ron
name.
K.
What was it? You said. And at the very end of the movie, after they save their ass, and he's like, "Tell me who would have done this for free and like helped you out, no problem." Like, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
I was like, "Oh well, thanks, guy."
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, okay." Well, I'm like, that's why I was like, "Oh yeah, why did he like lie?" Because I'm guessing maybe he would think maybe they want to take his contract. Because they're like, oh, you're on the most wanted. Like, that's a lot of heat, They're hunting you. So, I don't know. That was another thing. I'm like, that was odd. Like, I don't know. I feel like they could have handled that a little bit better. But still, it was still good and fine for what it was.
That goes back to, again, things that, like, in real life probably wouldn't have happened that way. Like, this dude, it's like 2 days later, and he's like, hey, boss, I thought that guy looked familiar, so I looked him up. And, like, hey, it turns out it's John Kinley.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you didn't do that the first second you fucking saw him?
You're so right. Literally, like 2 days later, you're like, yeah, I just finally did a search on this guy, and this is who he is. Like, you guys didn't do this in the beginning.
I see somebody at the bar, and I'm like, oh, I can find them on Facebook in 10 seconds. These guys are private security contractors.
There is plot holes in this movie, and you know what? There's plot holes in every movie if you fucking really try. Military, yes. Like I said, we kind of have to look at it as a whole. It was an entertaining flick. We can sit here and like pick every scene. Like, oh, I wish they'd done this or that, but it's still like fun to talk about like what they could have like done better or what they done done good. I think we should talk about what we did like on some of the scenes.
You got a good point.
Well, I feel like right now we've been kind of like nitpicking, which is fine. I still want to talk about it. I still, like I said, this movie wasn't amazing. It wasn't the best war movie I've ever seen, but I will say it's definitely a good, best military movie I've seen in a minute. Honestly,
This is my favorite one since 13 Hours.
that's a good one. Yeah.
And this might be a hot take. The only person that I think could have done a better job than Jake Gyllenhaal is John Krasinski.
Okay. I mean, yeah, they look pretty much the similar characters in 13 Hours, and this both bearded military guys.
I might be biased because I fucking loved John Krasinski in 13 Hours. It was his first his first
Action
major
role.
role. Yeah, and it was fucking awesome. He did a great job.
No, yeah, this is not even like a true story either. This is a whole scripted thing they made up.
And I think that probably plays into those couple plot holes, is that like
Right.
it was not
Not like
based
this
on something
actually
that
happened. Right.
That being said, though, for it not being a true story, it very well fucking could have been.
That's what, at the very end, you see like they start posting like photos and stuff.
Yeah.
It's actually interpreters and like military guys together. So, which is nice because like that's what the whole movie is, just kind of talking about the interpreters and what they had to deal with. That's what the whole movie is pretty much trying to get the message across,
Right. And honestly, that didn't even cross my mind until they brought up that stat, at the end of the movie. Like,
Yeah.
300 interpreters have been killed in combat and thousands more are still in hiding.
Right. It's crazy. It's very interesting because, like I said, I never would have thought, like, I didn't think about this part, like in the war. We grew up. We're still, we grew up during this.
Yeah.
In this war. Like, in the very beginning, you start talking about how many soldiers they deployed after 9/11, and then like it was like 1,300 after 9/11. Then in like 10 years, it was 98,000. We grew up in that, and I never really thought about the interpreters and what they really had to go through. And honestly, it opens your eyes. I'll say the movie definitely opens your eyes a little bit.
I agree with you. It was very interesting to see this unspoken truth about the interpreters during the Afghanistan war. And like you said, that war started and ended during our lifetime. They were there for 20 years and we're 26. Like we've been alive for the entirety of the Afghanistan war. No, I agree with you. I think it was really interesting to see it, to see interpreters portrayed and to kind of base it around them because they are kind of the unsung heroes of foreign wars.
Too bad they didn't have like a lot of badass interpreters like Ahmed.
They got ambushed and Ahmed had the gun. He was like, fucking, let's go, dog.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he just was ready to go. Like, no problem. That's what I was like. Yeah, Ahmed's the best. I wrote some notes down after the movie, just like thoughts that I had. Just wrote them down, but I'll write down what I have after your turn.
One thing I wanted to pick your brain about, and this is really obscure. It just stuck with me. They pull up to that dude's house, and Ahmed's telling him like, "Hey man, like if you're looking for guns, you're not gonna find them here."
Yep.
They walk into that dude's house. I still don't know what that was. There's a bunch of hookahs and dudes laying around. My first guess is that they were all like smoking opium and they're all high as fuck.
Right. I think so too. Yeah.
John Kinley says, "Don't lick, squeeze, or pop anything."
He did say that. I must have missed that.
He like sits down. He's like,
yeah, I
what's up
remember
with you
that.
guys? I'm gonna have a smoke. And then he
Yeah,
says,
I remember him saying that.
Jizzy, don't touch that pipe.
Yeah.
And then right before the scene ends, he says, "Don't lick, squeeze, or pop anything." And I have been, for the life of me, since I heard him say it the first time, I've been trying to figure out what the fuck that is supposed to mean. Like, is he talking like, I don't know. I don't fucking get it.
The military talk in this movie, they say a lot of shit, a lot of shit talking back and forth, and a lot of like bromancing. They're always kind of have that kind of talk in the movie. So that's what I kind of figured. Just, I don't know. I guess I didn't really caught it. I don't think it was weird. I thought that scene was weird when he kind of like sat there. He's like, "Yeah, go on and get, guys, go ahead. I'm gonna sit here and smoke." Like, I don't know. I thought that was kind of weird what he said. It seemed like his character was, I wanted him to be more serious, but it seems like he kind of goes off and tries to, be, I don't know, not as serious in certain situations. I know his character's probably frustrated, and that's why he's like, "Yeah, just go on ahead. I'm just going to sit here and smoke,
Yeah.
whatever." But I didn't notice that at first that he said that. I honestly don't know what it means. My guess is like, it's just Just like, don't be weird, don't lick or pop anything. Like, honestly, I don't know. It was weird. I didn't catch it.
I Googled that phrase just to see, like you said, if it's like military lingo or something. And the only places on the internet that phrase appears is in that fucking script.
It's funny that that's why I love talking movies with you, because you caught that in the movie and that stuck with you. And it like, what to me, I didn't even catch that at all, which is interesting. Like that, I have no clue. Now, next time I watch it, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to think about it every single time now.
And the second time around, it hit me again. I was like, what the fuck is that supposed to mean?
That's funny. I think that's funny as shit that you noticed that and it stuck with you. Because like you said, I didn't even catch that, him saying that. I remember him sitting down and saying it, but we have to start saying that now.
Don't lick, squeeze, or pop anything, boys.
Yeah. We have to start saying that now for everything.
The only two notes that I want to go over there quick because I want you to get to your notes. I'm very intrigued to hear what your notes were on the movie. Yeah. I went over the first half of this note, which is that John's very risk heavy. Like he's not afraid to fucking just like go in and do shit, which is a military trait, but it seemed like he was an extreme. I think that's why him and Ahmed got along so well, is because him and Ahmed are very similar personality types. Right. Ahmed is very much not a like follower or an order taker, and I think that's why they bonded so well. And then the only other note that I had that I think is worth excuse me, I'm fucking drunk. Is worth talking about is that the music selection throughout the movie was fucking dope.
Oh, the beginning was great.
They played two great songs. Yes, dude. I thought they were perfect.
I really liked the beginning. I wish it was longer. I wish the song played longer. And Guy Ritchie is known for that, honestly.
So you said you had written some things down after you watched the movie.
Right.
Tell me about them. What kind of things did you write down about this one?
Yeah, so like I said, this is just like, it may sound, I may like read word for word what I have because I think it's funny, but
please do.
But I said, like the story and plot, not amazing or anything, but it kept me engaged and watching. I said the action was good. I really like the gunfight. I guess I'll just say this. Wanted more blood, honestly. I understand why they didn't, but it's rated R. Do some crazy shit. It was fine. There was blood in it. There was, like I said, there was some headshots and stuff. Like, there was blood in it. But, like, we've seen other war movies. 13 Hours was bloody and gory at some points. Violent. Saving Private Ryan. You've seen that, right? Absolutely, yeah. That was realistic, gritty horror movie. I mean, not horror movie, a war movie I've ever seen in my life. For me, I was like, oh, come on. I wanted to be like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? Like, where, like, someone gets blown away and you're like, oh, my God, that's fucking crazy. Like I said, I understand why they didn't. You don't need to glorify gore and blood in movies. But I was like, but since it's a war movie, why not? What else did I got here? It said Jake Gyllenhaal and Dar Salim are great. They're really good in it. I said I really like Ahmed's character. I said he was smart and a badass.
Both facts.
I was like, I didn't care for when John went home and spent a long time seeing him, going through and going crazy at the end. I did like the beginning of the song. Not bad intro to the movie. I kind of wanted the intro, like when they were down, in the beginning with his team and they're checking out that truck. I kind of wanted to go a little longer, but it didn't have to, because they talk about Jack in the beginning a lot and throughout the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we don't really get to know who Jack is. Like, we know who he is, but
yes, I kind of wanted, like, maybe it could have been a little longer. Maybe some more dialogue. It was just kind of like, boom, there, bam, he's dead, but everyone loved him. I just wanted to get to know him more.
That's a really good point.
What else did I say? Ending was not bad. I said I wanted Parker, Homelander, and his group to do more shit. I said it was a kind of a Call of Duty vibes at some point in that movie. I kind of wanted to get your opinion about it. What did you think?
That reminded me of Call of Duty so hard.
When they throw
the thermal vision with the crosshairs and the Taliban are in the hills, I was like, oh, fuck, dude, that's a Call of Duty mission.
Yeah, and they showed it just in that view for so long. They didn't even show, like, actually, like, fucking up the Taliban, like, actually the footage of that. They just showed it through that screen, which I thought, I was like, okay, I understand that. It'd probably, save them money and not have to shoot that crazy,
Oh yeah.
Oh, one thing I thought, why does John wear glasses at the end of the movie when he was traveling? My guess is because his concussion or his head, shit. Did you notice that?
I did, and I took it as part of his disguise. He wanted to seem like more of a Middle Eastern white man.
I don't know, the glasses choice. To me, the glasses choice didn't seem like it. It's too. It looked too Tony Starkish, like those glasses choice. I don't know.
I thought there was a lot of feminine energy coming from Jake Gyllenhaal, even in his voice. And like that's not a bad thing by any means, but like I definitely noticed it. He was like, "Yeah, I'm Jake Gyllenhaal." Like this entire movie, he's the badass military dude, and he gets in the situation. He's like, "Yeah,
oh my God.
What's going on?"
I didn't catch it. You saw the movie twice, so I didn't catch that the first view. But you may be right. I don't know. It's funny though.
I don't know. It was just the vibe that I got. I mean, obviously, he's a badass military undercover. Like,
right.
That was the vibe I got from it. It seemed like,
right.
I don't know.
Hey, it's all right, man. You can. Like I said, that's what this whole thing. This is from your point of view, what you thought. So, couple things about my notes. It said entertaining if you like more action movies. I say the message that they're trying to get across is pretty, obvious and stated. That we wasted so much time in Afghanistan. Pretty much what we did there was not much. And then that people were, and I say like in the last day, like people were, interpreters especially were treated poorly on both sides of the conflict, Afghan and the U.S. Those were the notes that I wrote down.
I love hearing your notes on movies, Joe.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Overall, man, I thought it was a really good movie. I thought it was a very good war movie. I thought it was a very good military movie. Not the best.
No, yeah.
From the standpoint of like overall as a movie, not as a military movie, not as a war movie, as a movie, those couple things that I mentioned brought it down a couple notches. The plot holes, the over dramatization of Jake Gyllenhaal's character. At some point, it did feel overly dramatic to me. Even the parts that were supposed to be dramatic were too dramatic, especially for a war military movie, but that's neither here nor there. I don't think it impacted the movie negatively. I just think it was something personally I wish that it wouldn't have been. You sent me your Letterboxd profile earlier.
Right.
When I texted you and I said that I loved the picture, that was the first time that I clicked on the link, and the first thing that popped up was your star rating on this movie.
Yeah.
And I wish that I hadn't seen that before we talked, but I did, so I can't change that.
Damn, yeah, I probably should have thought about that. I just try to record and log the movie if I've just seen it, just trying to get a fresh rating on it, right when I see it.
That's on me. I probably shouldn't have looked. I should have known that you would have done that.
You're good. That was right to my profile. That's the first thing you'll see when you open it, but continue. Okay, I see where you're kind of going with this. You don't clearly agree with my rating on it, I'm guessing, or yes?
I wouldn't say that I disagree with your rating.
Okay.
I think my rating was similar to yours, but for the listeners, I'll ask you before I give my opinion, what is your out of 5 rating on this movie?
I first watch, and I will say I kind of went back and forth on this, and I'll say this as a movie viewer, I rewatch a lot of movies a lot. And sometimes I will change my rating on a movie if I give it a second time. You're like, you know what, something in it that's like, okay, yeah, actually, this should maybe go lower or higher. But in my first initial view, I gave this a 3.5 out of 5. That was my rating on it.
Okay, and before I get into my rating, do you want to explain why you gave it that rating?
Yeah, initial thought, like I said, I went back and forth between a 3 and a 3.5, and I'll say this, I kind of already got like other people that I talk Letterboxd with. We see some of my other ratings like, you gave it that many stars, and I'm like, okay, well, like I said, this is personal preference, of course, you can't go like that, but some people put like 5 stars or 4 stars. And like, honestly, in my opinion, like a subpar movie, like a good movie, but to me, 0 through 5 stars to me is like the perfect movie. 100%. Like that is 100%. Like that is it. Like there's nothing wrong with it. It's the perfect movie. It's the best movie ever made. I'm not saying you can't discuss that and you can't do that. But me personally, if I ever I can't rate something 5 stars unless I like literally think like, yes, this is the best movie ever made. Nothing can beat this. But I haven't seen every movie yet, so like I kind of like rate it like, okay, what can beat that if that's 5 stars? You know what I mean?
Right.
That's just my opinion. People can disagree or agree on it. You know, it's fine. That's how I personally like it. So 3.5 overall. Because I kind of looked at it as like I enjoyed it, which kind of gave it the bump to 3.5. Honestly, if I probably gave it another view, and like I said, after talking about it, because like when you watch a movie by yourself and you take it in, you're like, and you kind of like, and you didn't watch it with anybody else, you kind of have to like talk about it with yourself a little bit.
Absolutely.
You're like, okay. And so you don't think of everything by like with this, like, you know, talking with somebody, you can kind of like, oh yeah, that's right. That's a good point, you know, but overall 3.5, I could be persuaded to go to honestly rated a 3, which to me is a good movie. 3 stars out of 5 is still a good movie. 3.5, that's amazing.
I pulled up your Letterboxd on my computer while we were talking, just so the people can get kind of a feel. If you've made it this far in the interview, I've never met someone that has more passion about movies than Joe. And JoeBob, that is why I love doing this with you, is because I know how passionate you are about movies. That's one of the points of this podcast, is that the segments and the interviews that I do with people are people that have passion for things that I either don't have the same passion for, or that I'm not as
you're intrigued in, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I was checking out your Letterboxd, and you have rated 989 films. And before I asked you that earlier, you know, you told me about 900. You're being a little modest. That's almost 1,000 movies.
Yeah.
It's November 4th. You will hit 1,000 movies by the end of the year.
I think so. The way I've been watching movies, especially lately, it's been going up. And I'll be honest, I kind of go back and forth, like where either I watch more TV than movies. You know, sometimes I can't go in between. We're watching TV and movies a lot back and forth. I don't know. It depends what's going on, but I kind of just watching all TV shows, get caught up on my shows. Okay, now I'm just like, want to take a break of that. I just want to kind of just watch movies, you know? So
that people understand how critical you are of these movies, which is a good thing. You have rated, your highest rating is 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
And out of 989 films, you have rated 6 at a 4.5.
Right. I think it makes sense. If you've seen a lot, it's different when you haven't seen so much. I get it. If your rating is like a 4 for a movie you've seen for the first time, like you're like, holy shit, you know. I've seen so I have to be like a little bit more, like you say, critical about like rating. I can't make everything 5 or 4 stars, then everything's the same, you know?
Right, absolutely. Then there's no difference.
Right, exactly.
That's the important thing in rating, is that like you have to be objective. You have to, and I think you do a great job of that. And to just show how objective you are, it's not that you're talking shit on movies, because you've only rated 4 films a 1 star.
Yeah. Honestly, it could be re-rated. It probably could be better, but
you have a very good range, Joe. You have rated 88 films between a 0.5 star and 2 stars, and between 4 and 4.5 stars, you've rated 74 films. So your good and bad are both, they're pretty evenly distributed between those almost 1,000 films. I think you've been very critical in these ratings, and I think a lot of these ratings would stand very tall. And just a couple examples: Gladiator 4 stars, Django Unchained 4 stars, District 9 4 stars. I want people to understand how objective you are in these ratings. And obviously everybody has a little bias.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Maybe you like a certain type of movie more, so you gave it an extra 0.5 star than somebody else.
Exactly. It's like, that's what it is. It's your personal, like, I may give it, you know, an extra boost because I personally like that movie, and where it could be like others, like, that's not actually that great movie. Like, to me, it is, because I really like this, and this. I love, if you enjoy or viewing that movie, it should definitely get an edge in your rating.
I think you do an amazing job rating movies.
Well, I appreciate it, because there's times where I'm like, am I being too critical, or am I being too harsh on it? I was teetering between the 3 and the 3.5. I gave it the 0.5 because I'm like, honestly, I overall enjoyed the movie, and a lot of the times, like, I ask myself this question: would I watch this movie again? It could be with anybody else or just by myself. I can see myself putting this in rotation if I ever like want to watch like a bunch of war movies or something.
And honestly, I was surprised that our ratings were so close to each other.
What is yours?
Before I saw your Letterboxd, That's on a scale of 5. I was rating it just personally in my head on a scale of 10.
Okay, yeah.
And I gave it a 7.5.
Okay.
And I think that's literally, like, obviously I could have rated it a 7. We could have been spot on even. I fuck with war movies. It's my favorite genre of movie to sit down and watch. And I think that might have given it an extra 0.5 is because I love war movies. But in terms of the plot, the characters, it could have been a little bit better here and there. See, you said you could be persuaded down to a 3. I could probably be persuaded up to an 8.
Oh, okay.
But when it gets down to the star format, looking at your letterbox and seeing how you rate movies is kind of making me realize I'm not very objective. I would probably rate everything between 2 and 5, and you have a much larger range. And 4 stars does not describe this movie.
No, it's, to me, like growing up, like you see on reviews and stuff, like when people give reviews, like 4 out of 5, like I don't know, 5 out of 5 to me, it just doesn't seem realistic to me. Like especially when you have like, I see people on Letterboxd rate like okay movie, like I'd say like a good movie, and they rated like a 5. I'm thinking they're looking at like, I love this movie, it was great. 5 stars. Boom. Where I'm looking at, like you said, more objectively, more critically, I'm looking more things at instead of like, oh, that was a good movie or not. You know what I mean? That's how I like some people view movies, like, was it good or bad?
And I can see that, like, your 4.5 star rated movies, which is your highest rating.
What are they? What is it? Godfather?
These 6 movies are 6 of the best movies. The Godfather, The Godfather Part 2,
Of course.
Goodfellas,
Yep.
Shawshank Redemption,
Yep.
Lord of the Rings, Return of the King,
Yep.
and The Dark Knight.
Yeah. To me, I think those are amazing movies.
As someone myself who is not the biggest movie guy, I haven't watched a lot of movies. You've rated 989 movies. I don't think that I've watched over 150 movies in my life.
Hey, man, you can start cataloging if you get Letterboxd. You can see how much you've seen.
I made a Letterboxd because I wanted to start.
Yeah.
I made a Panda Rants Letterboxd that I'm going to use
perfect.
strictly for movies that we cover on Movie Monday.
Perfect. I like that.
So I will be rating this the same as you. Like I said, 3.5 stars. I think that's the perfect rating. I was honestly surprised that it was matched up so well.
Yeah, me too, actually. I thought you would give it, the way you were talking, I thought you were going to give it a little lower, like a 3, honestly.
No, you know what? Now that you say it, like 13 Hours is not a 4.5 star movie, but 13 Hours, in my opinion, was a better movie than this movie, and I don't think that I could put them both at 3.5.
That's where it can get tricky. Like I said, it's just personal preference, but don't read into it this much, especially starting out. Give it honestly, like I said, that is your honest review. But you have seen it twice, so I don't blame you if you want to change your review, because I've done that. I have rewatched something, I'm like, you know what? And I go back on my Letterboxd, I'm like, not as great as I rated it. You know, or I'm like, you know what? It actually, I really do enjoy them. They should get like a half star or whatever.
Before I watched it the second time, I would have given it like an 8.1. That's based on the 100 or 200 movies that I've ever seen in my life.
I think I was, like I said, I teetered back and forth. This one really made me think. Because like I said, it wasn't amazing. I think it was just a good, solid movie overall. Rewatchability, you can. If you like war movies, this is something up your alley. And I think that's what it can give me at 3.5. You can argue to me down to a 3. You could.
And just for the listeners, I told them your 4.5 star movies. I'm going to give them your 1 star movies too. You only have 4 of them. There's only 4 movies that you have rated 1 star. 50 Shades of Grey.
I have seen that movie.
Jack and Jill.
Oh my God. Shout out to Dill, watching that with Dill Hannah. Terrible movie. Terrible. Honestly, I probably could rewatch it. I'd probably give it a higher rating now, just because I rated that like so long ago when I first got Letterboxd. I would literally just was going through like their list of movies, and I would just go select each one that I've seen and just rate it, and then rate it.
Yeah.
And that one, I'm like, I look at it, I'm like, yeah, fucking 1 star. The movie's terrible. It's so bad. Continue, sorry.
No, you're good. The other 2 are The Last Airbender from 2010, the live action Last Airbender movie. And this one has me chuckling. Spy Kids 3D Game Over.
Dude, that movie was so bad. I saw that in theaters. That was the first 3D movie ever seen. That probably could get like a 1.5 if you want to put in like, I saw that in theaters and had that crazy experience. But I love the first two Spy Kids, and this one was dog shit. So stupid. We have seen many movies together in our lifetime.
Oh my god, dude! We brought entire Burger King meals into
And Taco Bell. And Taco Bell, bro. We just had tacos in our pockets because it was winter time, so like
We had
it was
our winter
easier.
coats on, bro.
Winter
we
con, we just
stuck
had
entire large fucking drinks into our coats.
Dude, it's the best. It is the best. And then going to see John Wick. Oh my god, perfect night. Perfect night in my opinion.
That was a great time.
Yeah, dude. Sorry, I'm just getting another drinky.
Oh, you're good, dog.
It's my third one now.
Oh boy.
Oh god. Oh. You gave it a 7.5 on IMDb. I'm looking at it now. They gave it overall 7.5 out of 10 too.
Really?
Yep. So, and that's high in IMDb. 7.7 or 7.5 stars, and they do it by like really from 0.0 to 10.
Speaking of that, all of the movie lovers that are sticking around through this interview, JoeBob does have a public letterboxd. The link will be in the description. Go and follow him. Leave some comments. Talk some shit.
Rate some movies. I like to see what other people rate movies. It's always fun.
If anybody has any shit to talk about any of Joe's ratings, leave it in the comments. And we will
discuss them.
We will discuss them next Movie Monday. If anybody has any issues, JoeBob will defend his stances. I know you will too.
I will try my best to.
Especially if somebody's talking some mad shit. On the first episode of the podcast, I gave my review, and it was maybe less of a review and more of a like, hey, this is what happened in this fucking movie.
And you gave your thoughts on it, pretty much.
But I gave my thoughts on Halloween Ends, and I wanted to get your thoughts on that movie since we were not able to get together for that one.
Yes. We did briefly talk about it when we were first talking. When you first asked me, like, hey, you want to talk about this movie? I'm like, what? Now? Halloween Ends. I'll just say fucking terrible end of that trilogy for Michael Myers. I would say end of the franchise, but they're gonna keep making more Michael Myers movies until I don't fucking know. Until someone literally gets tired of it. Because people just love Michael Myers. I'm a fan of Michael Myers, which made me want to watch these films. But Halloween Ends, not great, stupid, hated the story, stupid shit throughout the whole movie. Doesn't make sense. They seem like they did like a one whole like 180, 360, whatever of what the other movies were trying to portray. It's just, and the crazy part of it all, you stated this, you didn't even see the other ones. You fucking went right into the last one out of 4 movies technically, because it's in a trilogy from Halloween in 2018 and Halloween Kills and then Halloween Ends. But if you watch the first one, the 78, that's technically the 4th one, you know?
Oh, shit.
If you watch it because this Halloween 2018 is 4 years later from the original movie. But the crazy thing about the Halloween franchise, they've already done like another whole like they brought back Laurie Strode in other Halloween movies. So they rebooted it again, but they just like, okay, we'll screw the other movies. We'll just keep the first one and then make a whole new story, which is fantastic. The first Halloween, 1978, and then 2018 are actually good Halloween movies. Halloween Kills, it's not great, but people shit on it. I think there's some good elements in it. I'm not going to go into that, but Halloween Ends, fucking terrible ending to that trilogy or that saga or whatever. I don't even fucking know what to call it, but disappointed, stupid plot, hated some of the characters. They just changed the characters too much in it, and it didn't feel like a Halloween movie to me. It just felt like they're trying to do something else. They're trying to do something different. That's what the director was trying to do, and he even admitted in his interviews, like he was just trying to make his own story. He's even like standing by. I read in the thing that he's still standing kind of like by his movie even after the fucking shitty reviews it got. Some of the directors like, this is like, it's an art film. It's like, this is what I envision. This is what I like. I'm sorry you don't like it, but majority everyone said, what the fuck was this?
Well, I'm glad to hear that you think it was a shit movie because
It was. I completely agree with everything you said in the movie when we talked and your initial comments. Like I completely agree. I would not watch that movie again.
No.
I considered watching it again. I rewatched the first three. I watched the 78, 2018, and then the Halloween Kills movie. And I think it came out 2021. Then I didn't watch Ends because I was like, that movie's terrible. I'm not going to waste my time.
I'm gonna have to watch the other ones.
If you like the kind of slasher kind of killing or whatever the mythology of Michael Myers, I recommend watching the other one.
And like you said, it was pretty bold of me to go into the last movie of the series.
Right. But that's what makes it beautiful about this whole thing. As you casual viewer, you just like, yep, this is what I want to watch.
Like, oh, Halloween, this one's ranked number 2 in the US.
And it says Ends. You're like, okay. Yes.
Yeah, dude, that movie was so fucking dumb. There were plenty of things to complain about during the movie, but I think the dumbest part was the end.
Yeah. A lot of people agree with
the
you
whole
on
fucking
that.
town
Absolutely.
surrounded in this fucking industrial shredder.
The ending is like,
let's fucking hook his body to
yeah.
a car. It's fucking he's torn apart. Like what?
Hey, dude, he's done so much. I don't blame them, Panda. He's done so much damage to that community. They're like, fuck this guy. They're gonna have some fucking crazy ritual. Everyone needs to see him die for sure.
And I guess you're right. Like, yeah, he is kind of a legend.
He's a legend in that town, so like I could see it, but I didn't like the way. I still don't like the way they did it, though. Like it was almost like a funeral / execution. That's how I was like, what the fuck
scene
is
they
this?
have like all of the people in the town are walking, like following. It's like, dude, what the fuck?
Dude, they should have ended it after Halloween Kills. Like, I wish you watched the others, so that would have been a great take. And like, because I won't spoil it just in case you ever want to watch it. But
I do. If you're telling me that the other ones, all the other Halloween movies are better than that one, then I definitely want to watch them.
They are. I would say I think you would like the 2018 movie the best because it's more modern. It's a little bit more, 78. It could be like a little cheesy, because of how old it is, low budget. You can be like, whatever. It doesn't look realistic enough or whatever to me. The dialogue is maybe not that great because they talk, in the 70s. But but like the 2018, I think you would like because honestly, there's really some good moments in it, and I think the best thing about Halloween is the score of Halloween. The score, the music in it, it's very good. I'm sure they played it in Halloween Ends, like the theme. You ever hear when you heard the Michael Myers theme?
Something like that.
Yeah, that's it. What they did in the 2018 version was they kind of put a twist to the score but yeah, sorry, I'm going on a tangent now. But Halloween Ends dog shit.
You heard it here first, folks.
I think I gave it a 2. I think I gave it a 2 or 2.5. I could have gave it. I hope I didn't give it a 2.5 now, but I could have just because I love the Halloween franchise.
So according to your ratings, since the first one, each subsequent movie has lost half a star. It went 3.5, 3, 2.5, and 2 for Halloween Ends.
I gave Halloween Ends 2.
Yeah, and I think that's well deserved.
Okay, good. I think that's well deserved. Okay, I'm glad I didn't give it 2.5 now. I can see you not really caring for the 78 version just because how old it is. I don't know how you are with old movies. I know you've seen like The Godfather, of course. Probably a lot of more mobster movies.
Yeah. You got me.
Which is one of my favorite genres, the type of movies for sure. Crime and oh my god,
dude,
but we won't go down that road.
Mafia movies and war movies, that's my shit.
Yep.
Anything with guns and suspense.
Dude, for sure. I'm the
James
same
Bond.
way.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, for sure. I'm the same way, man.
Oh shit. All right, that is JoeBob and Panda review Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. Thank you for listening to this very special movie Monday featuring JoeBob. JoeBob and I will be back next week to review another movie and dive deep into it and give you our opinions. As I said before, JoeBob's Letterboxd profile, where he has ranked almost 1,000 movies. The link is in the description. Please go give him a follow. Check out some of his ratings. He is the authority on film And if you disagree, put it in the comments so that we can all talk shit. But JoeBob, thank you so much for doing this, brother. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I cannot wait to do it again. Is there anything that you want to plug or promote before we get out of here?
Overall, thanks again for having me. Thanks for thinking of me about this. I'm honored that you thought of me about this and wanted to do this. You know, like I said, you're not a big movie guy, so you just want to have a whole segment on movies is nice. It's awesome. I love it. So thank you for having me and want to talk to me about this. And I can't wait to keep doing this with you. I think this is going to be something really fun. I was looking forward to this all day. But yeah, something, I guess I'll just look at my watch list really quick. There's one movie I haven't seen that I'm interested in. It's called The Menu. Stars, is it Ralph Fiennes or Fiennes? I don't know how to say his damn last name, but he played Voldemort in the Harry Potter movies, but looks pretty good. It looks like a drama movie, but The Menu, and I guess the other movie, which I heard it was the best horror movie of the year from just reviews and people talking about it. It's called When Evil Lurks. Don't know much about it. I want to watch it. It got really good reviews. Supposed to be the best one of the year. I want to check it out. I don't know if anybody wants to check it out. If you do, let me know. But those I would say recommend checking out and watching. And I think, and the last thing I think that's coming out soon on Netflix is The Killer with Michael Fassbender, David Fincher film. I just added to my watch list, but I did hear is coming out on Netflix and in theaters, and I think in a week or two. So I heard it's really good. It got really good reviews. I'm interested in it. It's a quick synopsis is after a fateful near miss, an assassin battles his employers and himself on an international manhunt he insists isn't personal.
Oh, that sounds intriguing.
Right. And the poster looks cool. I love Michael Fassbender. He's great in a lot of his roles. And David Fincher's a well-known director. On Letterboxd right now, from people viewing it, 'cause some people get early reviews, but right now it's given on average a 3.7.
Oh, wow.
The majority of people are giving it right now 4 stars. That's not even out yet, so it could change. But that's what I recommend. That's what I shout out. Anybody want to check out those films, let me know. I haven't seen them yet, but that's on my watch list. But again, thanks for having me, man. It's been a privilege. I can't wait to keep continuing this, man.
Oh, anytime, Joe. I want to do this every Monday. I know our schedules are a bit busy, but hopefully we can at least get one in per week.
We'll make it work.
Before we get out of here, everybody go down in the description and click Joe's Letterboxd link. Give him a follow. Check out his movies and talk some shit in the comments because we will definitely be looking at that, and we will address it next Monday on Movie Monday.
Appreciate it.
Love you, Joe.
Love you.
All right, that's where I'll end it, son. All right, what a great interview with JoeBob. If you haven't seen The Covenant yet, go watch it. It's a great movie. And without further ado, Keyboard Warriors with Troy Lowe. So we had talked off mic earlier this week about how COVID really amped up your single player gaming experience. That's how you kind of got into them. You've been playing a fuck ton of single player games, and I, person who has way too bad of ADHD to play single player games anymore, I wanted to talk to you a bit about that.
Hell yeah, man. Fucking single player games have been my actual shit over the past few years now. I've been really diving deep and enjoying them way more than I've been enjoying any multiplayer games. And I mean, you know how much I love multiplayer games, dude. I mean, fucking in high school, that's all we did. I mean, I almost failed the 7th grade because of Modern Warfare 2, because all I cared about was being better than my friends. And then you think about Minecraft. What was that like going into our sophomore year of high school, where we'd go hang out at a park for 15 minutes and be like, this kind of fucking sucks. You guys want to go play Minecraft? That's literally what we did. So yeah, I've thoroughly been enjoying single player games, and I think COVID was really what kind of, I don't know why I brought it out. Just had so much time on my hands, but I just really started to enjoy them, and kind of like our buddy Joey.
Yeah, JoeBob is a big single player game, and this is going to air on the same episode for JoeBob's Movie Monday.
Oh, what a piece of shit. What movie is he doing?
Him and I are watching The Covenant. It's a new Jake Gyllenhaal movie. It's a military movie. I don't know shit about it, but I'm gonna watch it later today.
Is that where you guys are getting drunk?
Probably.
Yeah, dude. If Joey's doing movie reviews, he better be drunk. That was the best thing you guys never kept on going. There, I said it.
No, you're right. And that's why I wanted to do Movie Mondays, is because I missed doing the Drunken Stones so bad.
Yeah, like you need like I'm not talking beers. Like he needs to be like sipping like whiskey.
Oh yeah, he needs to be trashed.
Yeah. Not only that, but like whiskey makes you confident, so he'll like come out with some like crazy ass takes. That'd be awesome. That and a Little Caesars pizza, and he's good. I don't know. I feel like if you can sit there and watch a movie or watch a TV show, then you should be able to sit there and play a single player game. I think you just got to find the right one that gets you like invested.
I think that's been my issue. Is it's not that I like can't find one, it's that I don't try any of them. Starfield is the most recent single player game that I've played in a long time, and I fucking loved that game.
Yeah, but like look back and like you loved fucking Skyrim, so no shit you were gonna like that game, right? Do you ever play Fallout?
I have played Fallout 3 in the past, and funny you mentioned that. My buddy Raging Raccoon, he bought me Fallout 76 for PC. He like sent it to me randomly at 4 a.m. the other day.
Oh, so recently, like after all the updates?
Yeah, like last Saturday.
Yeah, like I've heard nothing but great things of like the community recently, because like obviously when it came out it was a total shitstorm. It was like up to par with how bad Cyberpunk was with release, but you know, with updates that they've put into it, I've heard that the community is a lot like experienced players that are literally going out and searching for new players and helping them out so they turn out and love the game just as much as they do and give it more of a chance. Because they view that like if I help new players and they figure out the game, they're gonna love it as much as I do. So like I'm gonna try and go out and find as many new players as I can, help them out, so we try and grow this game and I have more players to play with, which I think is fucking cool. But it just sinks that like why didn't the game release, you know, with it, you know, in the state it is now? Maybe not as it is now, but not with all the bugs and like just the shitty online services. Like what if that did release well? Like that could have been an awesome game, but like these fucking games keep putting out garbage. I'm sorry.
They do. And this all really ties into the interview with Raging Raccoon that released today. We talked about this extensively. They are full service.
Yeah, full service like online games where like you have to be online to play it.
And I think it's a bit ridiculous.
I totally agree. And I think that's why like I felt like Fortnite had it so right, where like the only thing they had in their store was cosmetic, which still was like a big issue, but at the end of the day, like you couldn't pay for like a better blueprint like you can in Call of Duty, where you know you can pay for all those tiers and get like the best guns in the new DLC, which are always going to be meta because they want people to use the new guns that they put in.
I can't fucking stand it.
Not even just like DLC. I think I look back to when I got my brand new gaming PC this past spring. So pumped. I've been a console guy my entire life. Xbox. Over COVID, recently got a PlayStation strictly because of the PlayStation exclusives and the single player games that I was able to play on there, like Forbidden West and Ghost of Tsushima. That's the only reason why I bought a PlayStation 5, like hands down. And the new Spider-Man game that just came out, like that shit's fire. But I recently got a PC, and I'll never fucking forget getting it, dude. I took like 3 days off work. And Jedi Survivor came out that Friday, and it was going to be the first fucking game that I played on my PC. And it's like a new trend now that like games come out with shitty PC ports, and they don't release a game that can fully function on a PC, or you know, something along the lines like that, where like Jedi Survivor was really fucking unplayable unless you played on like the lowest graphical settings for like the first week. And like I was so upset, dude, because all I wanted to do is play my new PC. I was already upset that I had to fucking use a controller because I was so excited to play keyboard and mouse, and it was just such a bad experience. It was just like, why are we releasing the game when it's not ready? If it releases on console and not PC at the time, then so be it. But like, don't release a hunk of fucking garbage that people are paying $70 for.
Forced you to use a controller?
No. It highly recommended it, but I was pissed off just because like I knew I was going to use a controller, but I was like, I really wanted to use keyboard and mouse, but I wanted to play Jedi Survivor that bad that I was like, all right, fuck it, I don't mind that. Like, I'm playing on my new PC, the graphics are going to be unbelievable. This is going to be exciting. I'm going to be fucking balls deep in it, and it ended up just being glitchy. Cutscenes didn't work. Like, frames were like so bad. Like, it was unbearable. To the point where like I had to set it down for like a week before I could actually play it when we were playing Wildlands, Panda. I'm sure you remember.
Yeah, those 2 days.
I still gotta play Baldur's Gate with you, but Alan Wake 2 came out, and did I send you the Snapchats of that?
I'm not sure.
Panda, Alan Wake 2 is hands down the best graphics I've ever seen in a video game, and like it's not even really close. I think like The Last of Us 2 and like the recent remake on PC was up there. I think Forbidden West is like beautiful. I think I really, really, really like that art direction and the way that looks. But just the combination of graphics, the sound quality, the atmosphere that Alan Wake 2 put you in, the story, the narrative, like it's one of the best games that I've ever played. Like it's honestly probably top 3. But like
shit.
I'm also like, yeah, like I'm not like a big combat guy. Like I truly love beautiful graphics. And I love an awesome story and an awesome narrative and awesome characters. And Alan Wake 2 fucking delivered, man. In the combat's awesome, but like, dude, I was just I found myself like in this game like walking instead of running just because the atmosphere and like the way you hold your flashlight and how beautiful it looked and how real it looked. Like I literally was walking through the areas just because like I didn't want it to end. I was like I knew I was in like the moment where I was like, hey, I wish we knew we were living in the good times when we were in them. Like I knew I was there, dude. Like I was fucking in the good times and I was soaking that in. And I stayed up till like 3 a.m. last night beating it, and I was just like slowly taking my time because I knew this was the end and I knew I didn't want it to happen. But Panda, that game needs to be downloaded yesterday. And that like goes to show like that's the reason why I haven't been playing Baldur's Gate with you. Like that was one of the best gaming experiences I've ever had, without a doubt. That's why I was excited to hop on this and talk about single player games, because I was gonna get that moment that I just had right now.
Dude, that's fucking awesome. I'm looking at screenshots, and this game looks fucking sick.
Panda, it's unlike anything I ever played. Like being a detective and like gathering clues, like you actually feel like you're a detective and figuring shit out. It's beautiful. And like the atmosphere, like the pictures are cool and all, but like once you get in there and you're moving your character and you have your headset on, the lights are off, and like you're hearing these sounds, like it is so fucking good. And I'm a pussy, dude. Like I hate scary games, and I'll be honest right now, dude. I played the game on story mode. I played on the lowest difficulty. And because like I'm not out there looking for like a challenge where I'm gonna sweat my dick off and I have to manage my resources, like I'm going out there and I'm already getting spooked out by just seeing a bad guy. I'm like, oh shit, like it's going down. Like I'm already spooked out by that. The last thing I need to do is be like, oh shit, I don't have any batteries or I'm out of ammo. Like I just need to run away, like, and sneak around this guy. Like, and it gives you that option, and I love it so much. And they did such a phenomenal job with it. And, oh man. I'm ready for you to play it, or at least watch.
That sounds right up my alley.
Yeah, like if you're not gonna play it, watch somebody play it. Watch a playthrough. I don't care. Like it is wonderfully done, from the graphics, the sound, the narrative, the story. I think like the acting is like what you would expect from Alan Wake if you played the first game. But like they even have like real life cutscenes like throughout it, and they fit it in seamlessly. And because the graphics are that good, where you don't feel like you're really taken out of that immersion that much, which is saying something.
Because in a lot of single player games that have cutscenes like that, the cutscenes are somehow like more graphically intense than the actual game. So you get that like that disconnect where it's like, okay, well this cutscene is not the game I'm playing.
It's Remedy, dude. That gaming development company, I don't know what you would call it. They made Alan Wake 1, the second game. Have you played Control?
No. What's that?
So like Alan Wake 2 is so big because it ties in those two universes. It's called the FBC, the Federal Bureau of Control, where basically like there's these world altering events throughout the country. It's like gates and another dimension interacting with ours, and they're basically covering it all up, and like these normal people are getting caught up in these world altering events. And with Alan Wake 2, it's this lake where 13 years ago in Alan Wake 1, he gets sucked up into this lake in something called the Dark Place, which is another dimension. It's like him trapped in there, and this whole second game is trying to get him out. And he's literally writing a story in the Dark Place that's coming to life and sucking other people in. It's unbelievable. And like the Federal Bureau of Control gets introduced in Alan Wake 2, which is from the game Control, which is a whole nother game that like I can't even begin to get into because it's so beautiful, and I don't want to do it disjustice, because like you should just play it, because there's so much that goes into it, and like I'm not going to be able to explain it. I don't know as much, but it's just like it's so cool seeing those worlds intertwine, and like working with the FBC and Alan Wake 2, or just seeing them in there. I don't know, that's probably a spoiler. So I'm not gonna dive too much into that. But it's just it was so fucking awesome seeing those two worlds collide. And now I haven't played Control in like 2.5 years, so I'm probably about to download that next weekend, and I'm ready to fucking play that again because that game's a blast.
What did you play that on originally?
Xbox.
Oh, okay.
I think it was on Game Pass for a while. It's so good. Did you like as the game goes on, you get fucking superpowers and like you just yeah, dude, you're like this bad bitch.
What?
Yeah, it's fucking sick. You have like unlimited ammo and like you can just like fucking pick up rocks and throw them at people. It's awesome.
That sounds fucking sick.
Yeah, and like the story's fucking awesome. Like you're like it's so and like the way that like there's gonna be an Alan Wake 3, I would imagine, and like that's the kind of shit that I love. Like I've playing a single player game, I kind of view it as like why people enjoy watching a movie. You want to get immersed in a world, and like instead of watching it go down on screen, like I'm actually doing it and playing it and like living through it. Some cool games like let you make decisions. Like Mass Effect is one of my favorite games of all time, and like the decisions you make fucking matter, dude. Whether a character gets carried on in another game or not. Like I think that's really cool where like these games like sometimes you get to make the decisions on like whether somebody lives or dies or not. Like and like that's better than just watching a movie. Like I get to pick what happens and I get to kind of play it my way. Whether I want to be a fucking like that's why Starfield's so cool. Like whether I want to be a stealthy assassin or just be a fucking tank that runs around and fucks people up, like, you can do whatever you want. That's why I fucking love it. And Cyberpunk, dude, I think that's another one where it had a shitty release, but like all the updates, I played it when it was like the last 6 months when it's been recently updated, and it's fucking incredible, dude. Another one of my favorite games, like top 10, maybe even top 5. Like I love that game.
Do you have Cyberpunk on your PC?
Yeah, that's what I played it on, and it's gorgeous, dude. Just fucking beautiful, such a cool world. And like with the recent update, it's like a brand new game where like they updated a ton of shit. So good, dude. The story, the voice acting is one of my favorite parts that like I feel like is never something I really notice in a game. But like with that game, I found myself being obsessed with some of the characters' voices. Like even like V, like your main character, like his voice, I was just like, oh yeah, dude, I'm a fucking G, dude. Like I'm here, I'm doing it. And like I was really actually bummed out with one of their DLC because like I got like probably like a quarter of the way through it, and then I got this glitch where it completely fucked my game. Where like none of the enemies were attacking me, where I could just walk through everything. So it was either like load back and restart the DLC or just continue that way. So I was just like, fuck that. Like I'm just gonna delete that save and come back to it at a later date.
Yeah, that would piss me off. So have you gone back to it?
No, I'm gonna wait till like, cause it's been hot, dude. This has been an unbelievable year. So games have just been getting pumped out. Where like Spider-Man, Alan Wake 2, like the Call of Duty's about to come out. I'm ready to play the new Call of Duty campaign. I've already played a little bit of it this morning. Like I'm a sucker for those where like the story, like I'm not really looking for a great story, but like I'm just looking for like kick-ass action in cool ways. And they've honestly kind of taken it back to not even taking it back, but like it reminds me of like Sniper Elite 4 and 5.
Oh.
Yeah, like they kind of give you a mission in like this open world map almost where like you have to do certain objectives, and like they kind of let you do what you want to do. And like you get a loadout and you can go in stealthily with a sniper or a silencer, or just fucking be a tank, hop in vehicles and shit. It's awesome.
And is that on your PlayStation? Is that early access? How does that work? Because that's not supposed to come out till next Friday, right?
So I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I bought like the deluxe edition or if it's just you pre-order it, but like they started doing this last year where one of the two, whether it's deluxe or pre-ordering it, you can play the campaign a week early, which is huge, man. Because I remember back in the day, like when we were all stressed out about being a higher level than one another, like we would want to play the campaign, but we would hold off because we wanted to keep playing multiplayer. And now they release it a week early the past 2 years, and it's been fucking awesome.
Yeah, I like that a lot because like you just said, I would spend maybe like 20 minutes when I first downloaded the game playing the campaign while the multiplayer was downloading, and then I wouldn't touch it.
Yeah, not for a while. I don't know. They're all right. Like I think they're good. Just because like it's Call of Duty to me. Like I'm not sitting here looking for like revolutionary stuff. I'm just looking for mind-numbingly sick action, me shooting people.
So those are some of your favorite games. What's a single player game that you have played in the last year that you bought because it looked really cool or you thought you would really like it, but you ended up hating it?
This is going to be a hot take.
Ooh.
Elden Ring. I've tried Elden Ring 3 separate times, and I've ended up refunding it every single time. I feel like this is gonna come off a little lame-ish, but like I really have to be in a certain mood to want to sit there and be like really challenged with the video game. Like a lot of times, like it's my kind of way to like kick back and relax and kind of just take my mind off of whatever's going on in the real world and relax and kick back. So I like to do it like I said earlier, where it's like a movie, where like I'm just kind of getting lost in a world and exploring it and having a blast, just like completely exploring and doing my thing. Something that is like you can do in Hogwarts Legacy. Like I love that game because you could just fucking dip off from the main story and just go explore on your broomstick and do whatever the hell you wanted. So like I'm not a big fan of a game that's going to sit there and I'm going to get super frustrated, I'm going to get real pissed off and I'm going to want to stop playing. I think Call of Duty is a good example of that where like that's really the only game where I get that feeling where if I'm playing on multiplayer, like of course I'm going to be upset if I'm doing bad.
Right.
Like if I sit there and I'm getting my ass kicked fucking 5 games in a row, you're going to hear me unless I mute myself. Like I'm gonna get real fucking pissed off. And like a lot of times I just don't enjoy that. I especially now that I've gotten older. I'm 26 now. Like don't like sitting there. Like when I play video games, I don't want to get pissed off. Like that's like not why I'm sitting here playing video games, right? So
Absolutely.
But like there's also times where I want to itch that I got that competitive itch where I want to hop on and shit on some fucking 12th graders, right? So like Elden Ring was a game where like you have to be very focused, you have to be sweating and trying your hardest. And I didn't really enjoy that. And like I really wanted to try that game so bad because like the exploration in that game is awesome. But like you have to be able to sit there and like face a boss a few times and understand their techniques, and I just really didn't care to do that. And so like that was a game for me that I just didn't really I tried multiple times, but never stuck with me, and I just couldn't will myself to really, going all in.
If that's a hot take, then I'm going to make it a double hot take because same. I
Yeah.
played that game for 8 hours straight the day it came out. I got stuck on a boss. I fought him. I I can't even count how many times I tried to fight this dude. And our mutual friend Bryce, he was super into that game, and he was much farther than I was at the time when I was fighting this boss. And so they have that feature where like you can summon a friend to help you.
Yeah. And you guys weren't able to beat it, right?
Dude. Yeah, and I haven't touched the game since specifically because of that. Like I don't want to hate playing the game. That's not why we're there. Like I'm not we're not here to fucking hate the game we're playing. It's not golf.
Yeah, true. I'll do that for golf. Even that I stopped playing a little bit. But like that's like the same exact thing where it's just like, like give me a break. Like I'm fucking over this.
Yeah, and I mean that was kind of to be expected with that game just because it is made, it's basically a Dark Souls game.
Yeah.
I've never played Dark Souls. I watched Bryce play Dark Souls 3, and it made me realize why I hated Elden Ring. All of those games are like that. They're grindy. I'm cool on it.
Yeah, like even like the normal like enemies give you a fucking hard time. It's just like fucking kill me.
Who's the sexiest video game character that you've seen?
Dude, Laura Croft is immediately what comes to mind. But that is not my number one. Cyberpunk, Pan Am, hands down. Cyberpunk, when it comes to relationships, and like I've never felt the way about a video game character like I did about Pan Am and Cyberpunk, like dead ass. Like I truly felt like I fucking loved that woman, and I still do. And I was very relieved to see that there's like a community that is like that just completely simps over Pan Am like I do, because I felt weird. I was like, dude, like they did such a good job with her whole story arc and like kind of where she comes from, and like she's this bad bitch that like, oh man, she's the best. And the sex scene, unbelievable.
Yeah, when I googled Cyberpunk Pan Am, I got to the second A in her name, and the second option is romance guide.
Oh yeah, big time, dude. I was on that guide because I didn't want to fuck up. That's how much I love Pan Am. Aloy from Forbidden West, she's a fucking bad bitch.
What's her name?
Aloy, Aloy. She's got like red dreads. Fucking sick.
Oh my gosh, she looks like the fucking the chick from The Hobbit.
Sure, she must be pretty hot.
She is. Wait, is she an archer too?
Oh, she knows her way around a bow, brother. And a spear.
Bro.
Mm-hmm. She gets in there, dude. That Forbidden West is one of my favorite games too. It's so fucking good.
Tell me a bit about that game, because I'm looking at some of the screenshots from that game, and it looks completely different from what I'm expecting when I hear the name Forbidden West.
So like it's I don't really know where Horizon comes from, but it's basically you play as a girl named Aloy, who is in the first game, Zero Dawn, she's like an outcast from her tribe, but it's a post-apocalyptic world And one of my favorite parts about the game is discovering the lore and what happened and why the world was destroyed. And in this world, it's overran by these machines that people in our world created to kind of help with everyday life, and ended up using them for weapons. And it ends up being the reason why the world is destroyed.
Just the cover art is intriguing. It's colorful, it's tropical. They say don't judge a book by its cover, but this is a cover that makes me want to play the game.
Yeah, and they want you to judge that shit by the cover because they spend millions on it. But it's kind of a weird premise because you're literally you're a prehistoric tribe with like fucking bow and arrows and spears, and you're taking down these fucking robot machines. Like, I'm sure you see like they're like dinosaur robots almost.
So what you're saying is this is our world in like 50 years.
I think it's like I think that's like thousands of years in the future technically. Because like I don't really want to dive too far into it, but like think about like stuff like in games that you've played in the past that you've really fucking enjoyed, and like what games were those? Like why like if you could think of like those single player games, then I'm sure I can come up with something that like be like, all right, then that's what you want.
I mean, you know me, man. Skyrim was my shit. The Elder the Elder Scrolls games, I started off with Oblivion. It made me buy Skyrim the day it came out. I mean, looking back at it, I think that's really the only single player series that I've really gotten into other than Starfield, and I mean that's also from Bethesda.
So do you think it's like the building up your character is what you like? Because I know with Starfield you really enjoyed the shipbuilding and like the base building, that kind of shit, right?
Yeah, and that ability, like we had talked about before, that ability to explore and kind of do your own thing.
The side quests. I feel like side quests were big for you. You just getting lost and like stumbling upon the side quest that like took you into like this long journey that like you didn't expect.
Yeah, and it gets to a point where you're like, oh fuck, what was I supposed to be doing?
I think Cyberpunk is like the first one that comes to mind that I think you would really enjoy, because like that's like one of the first games where I completed every single side quest, every single like little itty bitty side quest. Like I like there was like cool stories that like went along with it, and like it was cool kind of like learning about like different characters, and like the characters are really what carried that game,
I might be able to play that on my Xbox. I know I would rather play it on my PC, but
PCs definitely. What about The Witcher 3? The Witcher 3 is fucking incredible. Like that's a game where like I would want you to play it for like a good like 4-hour session.
okay.
Just because it might start off just a tad bit slow. But that's another world where like these side quests are so good, dude. Like
You're killing me right now, dude, because I want to play a game so bad.
there's so much, dude. It's honestly it's overwhelming. But like I honestly like I feel like I'm in such a shitty spot right now because like I feel like I've played everything that's come out, so like now it's just all about like looking forward to like what's coming out.
If you had to take a guess, how many single player games have you played in the last year?
Oh, the last year? I didn't beat The Witcher 3 again. I got about halfway through it, so I don't know if you would count that. Starfield is probably like the most time I put into a game. I put like 85 hours into it.
Dude, you were done with that game before I had my fucking first ship.
Yeah, well, remember I got it like super early because I pre-ordered it, and I took time off work. I spent the entire weekend playing it. Like I love that game. I had so much fun, dude. And like that's why I bought a PC, because like to be able to play that game on like fucking cranking the graphics up to like as high as they can possibly go, and being able to play it like with high frame rate and like in this beautiful graphics, like I loved it, dude. I loved it. I only have 14 out of 50 achievements for that too, so that just goes to show that I was just having fun. I beat Miles Morales this year. I played Shadow of the Tomb Raider again on my PC. Mafia 1. I beat Last of Us Part 1. Horizon Zero Dawn on my PC. I replayed Grand Theft Auto.
Oh.
Yep. I played Cyberpunk. So that's everything on Steam. I think that pretty much solves it. Spider-Man 2 that came out on the PlayStation 5. Tears of the Kingdom on the Switch. Oh, dude, this game, it's Kenya Bridge of Spirits. That was on the PS5. It's a very cartoony game, but I fucking loved it, dude. When did Ragnarok come out? Yeah, November 2022. So I guess, yeah, about a year ago. So that's another one. So yeah, a lot, dude. So I don't know. You tally that up. So that was within the year because it's November 3rd, and that came out on like what, the 22nd, the 9th.
God damn, man. I need to get on your level.
Yeah. And that doesn't even go back to COVID, man. Like with the PlayStation 5 Ghost of Tsushima, that game was incredible. Oh man.
I remember you talking about that one.
That game was so cool, being a samurai. Oh, and the combat was a blast. Like another game that you can explore, very immersive. Like your waypoint, instead of like having like something like a dot on the screen, like you would press up or like swipe up on the controller, and the wind would point you in the direction that you're supposed to go.
Oh, that's fucking sick.
Yeah, dude, it was fucking
That's cool
awesome.
as fuck.
It was so cool. So yeah, that's they're awesome, man. They're easy games to get lost in. I Resident Evil is one that I want to get into, but like they're very spooky.
I don't know if I can do Resident Evil because I bought an Oculus like 2 years ago, and I haven't really been using it much recently. But I experienced the VR trailer,
Oh hell no.
and I couldn't even finish the trailer.
Yeah.
I had to take my headset off.
Not a chance, dude. Not in VR. Hell no.
Dude, oh my god, it was terrifying.
Oh, I believe it, dude.
You hear things behind you, and I was like, oh, dude, no.
Like,
not a
hell
chance.
no.
I can't do scary things. Call me what you want, but like, I don't like being scared.
That's why, like I said, I hang my hat on like the very low difficulty level. Where like that's how I get through those games. I'm just now realizing I put 73 hours into Cyberpunk.
God damn.
But yeah, man, single player games are awesome. What can I say?
What game are you most excited for that hasn't released yet?
Oh fuck, dude. Oh no. Mass Effect 4? Does that count? Like 3 years ago, they released like a teaser. I don't know if that's a thing.
Let's see if they have a release date yet.
No, they definitely don't have a release date.
Oh, bro, it said March 21st, 2017. That was Andromeda.
Yeah, nobody cared. Let me go to the coming soon because I forget, dude. I always forget. Oh, Stalker, Heart of Chernobyl. Apparently, Stalker was like a big game that came out a while ago on the PC that like was a big revolutionary type thing. That people really really enjoyed. Hang on. There's definitely some that I'm not thinking of that I gotta look up. Oh, Star Wars Outlaws. Have you heard of that?
No.
Dude, it's gonna be like an open world Star Wars game where like you're playing as a bounty hunter.
Oh, fuck.
I think like the only issue is that yeah, it's Ubisoft, so that might suck. But like the graphics look pretty fucking cool on it so far. So that looks pretty sick.
The game takes place during the period between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. That's sick as fuck.
Yeah, it looks really fun. I'm curious to see another Ubisoft game, the Avatar game coming out, I think in December. It's like a Ubisoft open world Avatar game, which is sweet. But what sucks is that like a lot of like the games I was really looking forward to have already come out. Starfield was a big one. Jedi Survivor was a huge one. Assassin's Creed Mirage was a big one. Alan Wake 2, which I wasn't expecting to be like my favorite, but that has easily been, I think, my favorite game that's coming out this year.
Hell yeah, man. This Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl, I've been kind of flipping through some things. This looks really interesting.
It looks like a blast. The Dead Space 2 or the Dead Space remake was a blast, but you would hate it. Scary.
Why would I hate it?
Terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you would not make it through. I promise you. Do not.
I have to play that while it's sunny outside.
Yeah, not even. Like, you'd still get spooked out. I would not play it. You would not make it through. With how much you're talking about how scared you are, I would not play it. It's just not worth it.
Dude, I used to get scared like that when I was playing like really stealthy Call of Duty missions. And I guess maybe like scared isn't the right word, but like my heart would be racing and like I'm just sitting there like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Get really anxious.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, I know that feeling. I almost had a panic attack for fumbling the ball on the 1 yard line playing Madden.
Oh man.
Yeah, dude. Just happens.
Fuck.
Shit happens, brother.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. I'm glad we got to talk so long. It was a great conversation. I'm excited to see how some of these games play out that you've been talking about.
Yeah, I want to see if you actually play some of them.
You motherfucker.
I want to see you actually play some. I want to get your opinion on them, and then you'll bring me back on, and we'll fucking talk about an awesome game that you played that I recommended. I'll be like, oh, Troy, you're so right.
Bro, you're so smart.
This guy knows games.
Like I said, I'll have to check out my Xbox and see if I have access to Cyberpunk through Bryce.
Yeah.
And if I do, I'll give it a shot.
Oh, yeah. Look into Witcher 3, too, because that always goes on sale.
Okay.
Big time.
Well, hey, man, before we get out of here, is there anything you want to promote? Anything you want to plug?
No, not really. Listen to the podcast, Panda Rants.
What a guy.
Fucking listen to that shit. I'll beat your ass. How about that?
Hey, you fucking heard it here first, folks.
I'll suck your dick before I murder you, and then I'll fucking murder your ass. So figure it out, dude. But thank you for having me on. This was awesome. I had a blast. It's something I'm super passionate about, so I just appreciate the opportunity to let me rant.
Oh, anytime, brother. You can come back every week if you want.
All right, maybe not every week, but yeah, we'll talk about it. All right, man. I'm gonna hop off, get back to this campaign before I gotta leave at 5.
All right, brother. You have fun with that. I'll talk to you soon.
I love you.
Yeah, I love you, boy. Hey, yo, let me cook real quick. Oh, welcome back to another Panda Rant. I think y'all have a good idea as to what I'm about to fucking rant about, which is why I'm going to try to not rant about it. All I have to say is, it's getting cold outside. I need my sweatshirt back, and it's going to get a lot colder. I texted my friend. So my friend's fiance is Sweatshirt Girl's best friend. So I texted my friend, sent him a screenshot of the conversation. I was like, yeah, she's a giant bitch. I hope at one point she listens to these and hears what a giant bitch I think she is. For the record, I'm not the one calling her a bitch. She called herself a bitch. I'm just agreeing. You feel me? But I digress. What a great weekend of football, honestly. I was very happy with all of the college games that we had, all of the NFL games we had. I'm excited to watch Jets and the Chargers tonight. I'll be recording Wednesday's episode of Hot Women Wednesday. It's the first ever episode. I keep getting texts in the middle of myself talking, so you guys are going to hear those dings for sure. I'm not that good at editing. Yeah, I'm not sure if she wants me to be public with her first and last name, but I will say that I've mentioned her on here before. We're going to be talking just life stuff. I'm going to ask her a couple questions about, what she likes, what she doesn't like, and then I'll probably throw her a couple curveballs because that's just what the fuck I do. But I'm excited for that. My nephew will be on at some point this week to talk about some new World of Warcraft updates. Got a great Filthy Friday coming for you this Friday. I know we're a week out pretty much, but that one is going to be good. I would stick around for that one. But yeah, man, that's about it. I don't have much to rant about. It was a good weekend. It was a fun couple days. I spent my entire day yesterday editing fucking 3.5 hours of interviews between Today's Movie Monday and Keyboard Warriors. And it's definitely a labor of love. My eyes are bleeding. I still didn't get the burger too. I really could go for a burger. Some nice crispy fries or some tater tots. Even some onion rings would be pretty solid. I'm tired of how fast these Zins are going, dude. Maybe I'm just a fiend, though. Gone through like 2 cans this week already, and I feel like that's not a lot to some people, but that's a lot to me, man. Used to a can lasting me like 4 or 5 days. Another fucking ding, bro. Oh, it's just dilly. I will say something. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Give me that fucking sweatshirt back, my boy. That's my boy. That's a real friend right there. He's about to fucking walk through the valley of the shadow of death. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I'd like to walk through the valley of the shadow of death just to say that I've done it. Wow, the British. It was named by British soldiers. That's fucking new. The British doing something cool. I mean, go figure, it was 175 fucking years ago, but I mean, hey, we're still using it, so I guess that's something. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I told that story on Filthy Friday about fucking my ex-girlfriend by a lake while we were fishing. And my first inquiry for a guest for Hot Women Wednesday was to her best friend, who did not text me back. So, like, probably good friend move by her. She also probably knows me too well and knows that I was about to fucking ambush her. That makes it sound weird. It's not weird. I just, I reached out to her and was like, hey, I am starting a segment where I talk to women with inspirational lives, experiences, or like passions. Yeah, I definitely lied my ass off. But we do have a guest set up. We're recording that later today, so I'm excited to update you tomorrow on how the recording went, and that'll air on Wednesday. But that's enough ranting from me. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. I gotta go eat some fucking food and be a fucking degenerate. But if you made it this far, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. I love you. I appreciate you. You deserve all good things in the world. I wish all my love to your friends, to your family, to your acquaintances. I will see y'all tomorrow. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Panda, and this has been another episode of Panda Rants.